Hi, Manish Deva, paediatrician. It's 2023 and the question remains, do we need masks? Well, the reason I want to talk about this month, a few big studies have been analysed by a meta-analysis, which is grouping a whole lot of studies together to answer that question. These studies, a lot of them began in the early bits of the pandemic in various locations, often from resource limited settings. And what do we know? Well, we know that in the community setting, that's not in hospital, masks haven't been proven to be effective to stop a whole range of respiratory illnesses, and most of the studies mainly looked at influenza, but some did look at COVID. What we also do know that the two studies which seem to be of pretty good plan were excluded from the big meta-analysis, which I'll put a link and image to, because there was such a poor adherence by hospital wearing staff with masks, so you couldn't determine if they were helpful or not. So where does that leave us? Should we just keep wearing masks? What are the downsides? Well, as a person who wears a mask a lot, there are considerable downsides. One is some people get a bit claustrophobic, their glasses fog up, there's a bit of irritation behind the ear. Obviously, my job when you're trying to interact with children, having this bit covered up, is not so intuitive or natural when you're interacting with particularly a young infant. The other thing a lot of younger people have mentioned is the huge environmental burden of masks, and I haven't seen any numbers around this, but it's not that uncommon to see in the gutter a washed up mask all being frayed at the edges, which is not nice to see. So in the absence of conclusive evidence, do we just keep doing what we're doing? We do know that the COVID rates are now generally coming down to the previous highs of the last few years, and certainly the mortality is way down. But does that mean we can start losing the masks? Well, I think this year will be a good test of that question, because the tolerance of the public for masks is definitely decreasing, and I think just quietly there's a lot of people in the medical sphere who are also questioning, especially for the fact of if we don't have conclusive evidence, why are we promoting or adhering to something? And there is a feeling that the public will probably get a little bit concerned that we're doing things which don't make sense, and you lose a bit of faith there. So this year should be an interesting year. I suspect the mask wearing will and should go down. Hopefully they'll allow cloth masks to be back allowed, because they seem to be less impactful for the environment and more comfortable for users, but we will see. So if you don't have a huge amount of time, there's a quick summary on the link for the Cochrane update, which gives a plain language summary, which is really good. If you do have a lot of time and interested in looking at forest plots, you can download the whole several page article.